On today's 631st episode of Into Your Head podcast, why rocket scientists are terrorists, why birds are scum, how the tax system deals with bags of scum, the pronunciation of elocution, what there was before the universe existed, and lots more.
You're listening to Into Your Head, hosted by Neal, Ireland's version of the Octomom. Except he's a dude, and has cats.
Absolutely fantastic.
Once upon a time, what was there once upon a time? Once upon a time there was nothing, absolutely nothing. There was nothing but the empty space, which wasn't even anything. It's hard to wrap your head around it, I know, but once upon a time there was nothing. In fact, since there was nothing, there was nowhere for nothing to exist, so there wasn't even nothing. Once upon a time there wasn't nothing. Which means there was something, and I've thereby proved that there was always something. Philosophy, that's what philosophy is all about. And I've just summed up and cancelled out the need for all philosophic thinking for the rest of this universe's existence with that simple statement: there was once upon a time there was nothing, and therefore there was no nothingness, so there was something, which QED. Hello.
Into your head.
A lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Oh, topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of this sandwich bag. Which contains about 8 foil lids from spreadable butter containers. I'm going to send them off tomorrow. I'm going to get, in exchange for these lids, I'm going to get bowls. I'm going to get 3 bowls. I think I get 3 of them with various, basically vegetable serving bowls. You're supposed to, you're supposed to buy up all these friggin' pots of butter, put them in the freezer and send off your labels, and you glue £3 coins to it or something for postage, and then they say, here's your free dishes, and then they say, put some vegetables in these dishes and put a huge knob of butter on top of them. It's very important, the knob of our butter. You can take your knob and go and stick it back in your butter dish, and I'll put it in the freezer until I need it. I'm just there to get free delf out of you. I feel really grown up doing this, because I remember back when I was a child, I remember my parents became obsessed with collecting free dinner sets from the petrol station over a couple of years. They got all their dishes free from buying petrol. I'm doing the same now. It's back. We've come full. It's the circle of life now. My parents did the same, and now I'm collecting my big grown-up serving bowls by buying more butter than I could possibly need between now and Christmas in order to get these lids. I could probably buy the dishes down in the €2 shop, but no, something for free. It's the natural. It's natural. When a cat goes out into the wild and it sees a bird sitting there, not noticing, guessing it's sitting happily eating a worm, the cat thinks, oh look, something for free, I'm going to eat that, just as the bird is thinking, oh look, a worm, something for free, I'm going to either eat that or bring it to my offspring and feed my offspring in the nest with it. That's what we're led to believe, we're told. We're supposed to believe that birds, when they go and murder these worms, they're doing it for their kids. They're going to fly away with the worm in its beak, just like that commercial airliner did last week with their old retired NASA space shuttle on the back of it. It goes off with the space shuttle to feed the museum wherever it's going. Supposedly the bird puts this worm in its beak, but doesn't chew, and brings it home to its frigging offspring. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. I don't believe a word of it. And then we're told, when the cat's doing that, it's just doing it for fun. The cat is a cunt, but the bird isn't. The bird is feeding its offspring. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Anyway, hello and welcome to the show. 2 birds walk into a bar. One of the birds straight away goes up to the bar counter and says, hello, can I have 2 pints of Guinness, please? They're for my offspring. And The man behind the bar says, "Are you telling me that you're buying alcohol for children? I always knew birds were cunts. All this crap about how they're all great because they carry their food home to their young. Their young what? That's what I say. They're always told. I remember back in school we were told, there's a bird bringing worms home to its young. Its young what though? No one ever asked. They never said that these birds could be fucking paedophiles who have kidnapped young children for all we know. But no, it's all taken for granted. Oh, look at that. David Attenborough says the bird is taking things home to its young, full stop. Absolutely fucking weird. There's no such thing as a young. Young is a state of mind and possibly a state of physicality and age as well. It's not there isn't a creature called a young. You can't call your child a young. I don't know. It's like calling a child, except I suppose it's not. Anyway, no, you can't have 2 pints of Guinness for your offspring. And the bird says, excuse me, my offspring are 21 years or older of age. What's the problem here? And the man says, well, I don't believe that for a start, because I've seen David Attenborough programs, and I'm also an expert in ornithology, or whatever it's called. It's something beginning with anyway, the bird experts. I used to live near the headquarters of the Irish bird observing whatever it was, organisation. I remember they used to come round to my school. Anyway, no, I don't believe that they're for your children 21 years or over, but in any case, this pub isn't licensed to sell takeaways, especially pints and glasses. Nonetheless, I know Guinness is available in draft style and cans, but we don't sell those for takeaway. It will be in breach of my liqueur licence, as foreigners call them, liqueur. They say there's a liquor shop. You go into the liquor shop and you say, can I liquor please? And they'll say, stop being vulgar. You know damn well it's liqueur. It's liqueur, not liquor. Not liquor. No, absolutely fucking. Everything has to be turned into some vulgar joke nowadays. As I say, you see everyone on Twitter now. They can't go 5 minutes without making some vulgar pun. They'd say, there's a vulgar pun over there, not to be confused with a nulgar nun. And then you look up nulgar in the Urban Dictionary, and it'll say something like, it's a type of a cunt of some sort, a bit like one of those birds who supposedly brings birds home to their young, except they're not. I get the idea anyway. I'm getting confused in my own thoughts here. Anyway, no. And the bird says, fair enough, I suppose. I wouldn't expect you to breach the terms of your license. I'm a law-abiding citizen myself, you know. And the man says, there's no laws applying to birds. Of course you're law-abiding. There's no laws that you have to abide by. So technically, you've never breached a law in your life, because it's not possible for a bird to breach a law. So don't be giving me that crap, even though it's technically true. I can't be going around saying you're great because you never broken the law just because there are no laws to apply to you. Would you go way out with that crap? That's like saying Saddam Hussein didn't break any laws when he dropped litter because there was a law saying that it wasn't illegal for Saddam Hussein to drop litter. I'd say I might as well say that. Not that it's very important whether or not in the long-term scheme of things, I suppose it could be argued that whether or not Saddam Hussein dropped litter was not important, but whether or not he lived by that principle of making laws that applied specifically to him, that's important, I suppose. I'm not claiming that the litter thing itself is important, don't get me wrong. Obviously it's just an example. It's an example, a bit like when you say hello, like if you're in a maths class, you wouldn't be, because you're a bird, you wouldn't be in a maths class. But if I was in a maths class and I was the teacher and I said, now children, 2 + 3 = 5, and the children would say, I don't understand that, can you give me an example of this concept? And you say, yes, I can. If you had 2 penguins and 3 cats and you put them together, then you'd have 5 creatures. And the children would say, but how many cats would you have then? You'd have the same number. And how many birds would you have then? Oh, you'd have the same number. You just have them all together in a group, so you'd have 5 creatures in total. And the kids would say, well, then you haven't changed the number of birds or the number of cats. So adding things together appears to make no difference whatsoever. Is that what you're telling us? And that's why it takes a bit of guts and a bit of spine and a bit of intelligence to be a teacher these days. You can't just go along and make crap up about cats and birds and expect them to just take it. No, they ask questions now, and quite rightly so too. And I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you, why are you coming in here looking to take away pints of Guinness to your little baby birds, you bitch? And the bird says, I'm not. I told you, they're over 21 years of age, although obviously that's metaphorically speaking. They're not really that old. They're talking about bird years versus human years. And since there's no agreed common thing of how many human years there are in a bird year, I made it up myself. So I've decided to declare that there are 21 years of age in human years. And the man says, they're doing the Saddam Hussein thing now. You're saying, I've just decided they're over 21 years of age in human years based on my formula, which I've made up and haven't even revealed yet. How you go way out with that crap? You're as bad as Saddam Hussein. Go off back to your nest and go and kill some Kuwaitis or wherever it is you do, and pour oil all over your nest and then set your tree on fire. That's probably what you're going to do next. I'm not letting you bring alcohol up there. It'll make the fire worse. You can't have oil and alcohol and fire in the same place. It's a recipe for disaster. And there's one thing I know about, because this is a gastropub, it's recipes, because I do all the cooking here myself. I make beef and tomato pies. I make fish and chips. I make lasagnas. I get in frozen shepherd's pies. Well, that's understandable. They're not that difficult to make. I'm not going to waste my time wasting my skills on something that simple. Anyway, suffice to say, on with the show. Now, I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, young. He's young. He's talking about, he's young. That doesn't sound right. There's something not right about that. There's something less than right. Less than right and more wrong than right. More meat than tuna. That was a podcast once. I didn't live very long. What else? It's more yin than yang, more minus than negative. But minuses and negatives, as we all know, those of us who paid attention in our schools anyway, we all know that a minus and a negative cancel each other out. So if you have a minus, let's say you have a +2 and you have a minus 8 billion, those two cancel each other out. And you have a minus 7 billion, 999,999,999 or wherever it is, 998, whatever it is in this particular example. Get your calculator out if you want to know, if you want accuracy. I don't do accuracy here. This isn't frigging mathematicians today or science, nothing but the science podcast today. Hello. No, that would be a stupid name for a podcast anyway. Although my wife and I are going to be starting an academic podcast soon, but it'll be of no interest to the sort of people who listen to this crap, I can tell you, so you won't hear much about it here. No, you won't hear anything about it. Suffice to say, I just want you to know I do other crap that's not like this, but is of value to the world, or I will be soon anyway. Where was I? Oh yes, I said, I know what you're thinking there. Something, yes, about the young. The young, that doesn't sound right. That's what you were thinking. You'd be largely right about that, except you're not. Largely right does not an omelette make, I can tell you. You're either fully right, or else you're not right enough for it to count. That's how science works. In science, you have to prove things. You can't say, that's probably true. No, it's either true, or it's not being proved yet, or not being proved at all, or not going to be proved. You can't say say whether it's going to be proved or not. So you can't even say for certain whether it's not going to be proved. So it's either yes or I don't know. You're allowed to say I don't know the things you know, unless you do know, because then you're going to be a liar, a damn liar and a hypocrite, a scumbag, a bag of scum. That's what it is. If you had a bag of scum, that would be a problem. Is scum hot and muddy, or what is it? Because if you have hot stuff in a plastic bag, that's going to melt it. But if you have it in a sack, a mesh sack of some kind, then is scum like fine mud? Is it going to drip through onto your shoes? I suppose if you're scum, it doesn't really matter what drips onto you, because you're already scum. A bag of scum. Now, are you the bag and the scum, or are you just the scum inside it? Is the bag like your skin? It contains the rest of you, and it's part of you. I don't know. It probably doesn't really matter. It's all metaphorical. An example. No, you don't need an example of a metaphorical thing. Or maybe you do you? I don't know. A metaphorical thing would be like, it'd be like if I went into a shop and I said, hello, 4 coffees, please. No, thank you. I don't need a bag. I'm not a scum. I don't need to be bagged. Although you can bag things other than scum, can't I? Presume you can. But there's a tax on, and quite rightly too. My country for the last 10 years or so has been cracking down on bags of scum. When you go into a shop and they offer you a plastic bag, there's a government tax of 10 or 15 cents on that now. So there's a lot less plastic bags being taken, I can tell you. Although now, do scumbags more or less inclined to take the bag? Because if they're less inclined, then that would mean that this scumbag tax is penalising non-scumbags more than it's penalising scumbags. It probably doesn't matter, because as I say, it's not even a metaphor. It's just an example to explain what a metaphor was, in case you didn't know what it was. Anyway, on with the show.
There's still more to come on Into Your Head.
Hey, Into Your Head listeners. Do you ever shop at Amazon.com or Amazon UK? Get there through Neal's special Amazon links, and Into Your Head gets a generous cut. Every time. Just buy anything. It's that simple and doesn't cost you anything extra. Just visit intoyourhead.com/offers every time you're about to buy anything on Amazon, and follow the special Amazon.com or Amazon.co.uk links to start shopping. Your favorite podcast gets a commission, and you don't pay a penny extra. Just visit intoyourhead.com/offers and click on the Amazon links to begin. The more you spend in any Amazon department, the better. It's just like donating to that show, except you don't part with any money. Visit intoyourhead.com/offers to begin. That's intoyourhead.com/offers.
That reminds me, Dustin, aka Tippers, the fella who did that preceding advert for me for free, he's got a radio show, a music radio show. He's got fine taste in music for young people. It's not really for old people like you, but it's for young people. He knows all about music, and he plays it every 2 hours. I think he's moved to Saturdays now. It's on an internet radio station called Scooter Forums Radio, and if you go to intoyourhead.com/Dustin, it'll forward it to you to the appropriate place where you can listen live or download it later, and tell him I sent you. Tell him Tippers, Neal from Into Your Head sent me here, and he said I have to listen to you. What do you have to say for yourself? And he'll say, because he's a polite gentleman, he'll say, I don't have very much to say for myself. I think my music speaks for itself. Then he'll introduce some music, some appropriate music from his box of music that he has, his endless, bottomless box of music. It's like something from the Wizard of Oz. Absolutely fucking fantastic. Intoyourhead.com/Dustin. Hello.
Into Your Head.
Elocution, that's what they call it. Except the people who need it most, they don't call it that, because they haven't yet been trained to pronounce it properly. Hence the need to ring up and say, hello, do you do elocution lessons? And the woman at the other end of the phone, or the man, or wherever it happens to be, will say, indeed I do, yes, but you seem to be able to pronounce elocution very well, so if I may say so myself, you probably have no need for my my services. And you'll say, well, wait a minute, is that the only word you teach? Because if you're going on the basis that once someone's able to pronounce the word elocution, then they don't need elocution lessons, that seems a bit narrow. There's more words, there's other words besides frigging elocution, you know. There's anti-disestablishmentarianism, there's there's Cluedo, there's Coca-Cola, and then you'll be interrupted straight away, and she'll say, that's a brand name. Brand names don't count. We don't need to be able to pronounce brand names. We're not slaves to corporate culture. Just because someone makes up a thing with a swoosh, that doesn't mean we have to be able to draw the swoosh. No, don't give me that crap. Those don't count. Brand names are not part of our language. No more than the planet Mars as part of the Atlantic Ocean. It isn't, is it? I don't think so. Although now that you mention it, the moon does control the tides, so it does have quite some influence over the Atlantic and other oceans. So I suppose I've kind of argued against myself there. Although I'm fine with that. I don't mind. A wise man once said, "Wise is he who changes his mind about something, given the arrival of new evidence or new information." Or words to that effect. He said it more poetically than that. I wish I knew who it was. I'd probably be more valuable if I was able to say who he was, what he was talking about, and what his qualifications were. Because people do this all the time. They'll say, "Oh, Einstein once said cats are very nice." But then you look up Einstein, and you see he wasn't an authority on cats at all. He had very little knowledge of cats, and therefore whatever he said about cats, no matter how many times you put it on a picture of him with his hair and paste it into Facebook, it's not going to have any resonance, except people are stupid enough to think it does. They'll say, "Oh, Einstein thought cats were good, and Einstein was a deeply clever man. He invented electricity or the light bulb or one of those things, or the telephone or television, or one of those things that we take for granted now." We also take for granted, ironically, the idea that Einstein was an authority on everything under the sun. No, he wasn't. He was a deeply accomplished man who knew a lot about some things, but he didn't know everything about everything. So be a bit more selective than that. You don't take out your bowl of pepper when you're having a sandwich and just empty the whole bowl over the sandwich, and then add half a pound of salt without first tasting it. You do not, unless you're deeply confident in the taste of the sandwich because you've made it yourself, or you've had the same one before and it's off a conveyor belt, so you know how much salt and pepper it needs. No, you do not, and nor should you do the same with Einstein. Don't be pouring Einstein over your sandwich without first doing your research.
Oh, wait a minute, it's going into you. It seems it looks like it's going into your head. I think it's going into your head. Oh, it's definitely going into your head.
An island on a lake, on 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 an island. Still just a lake, or still just an island, whichever one I started with. I can't remember. I'm getting bad at this. Good. I'm getting good at this. Forgetting how I started a sentence thing. It's fine though, it's not a problem. That's what we do around here. We start sentences without knowing how they're going to finish, so you might as well finish sentences without knowing how they started now. It's the logical next step. It's the logical next step. Just as the logical next step for us humans is to not grow hands anymore. We don't need them. No use for them. We've got Siri for iTelephone. We can just go up to our iTelephone and say, "Hello, Siri. I don't have any hands anymore because I've evolved because of you. So I hope you're happy to cram some food down my gullet for me now. Will you cram some food down my gullet for me, Siri?" And Siri will say, I have no smart aleck response to that, and obviously I don't have a proper response either, so I'll just say, "Do you want me to Google that?" And you'll say, "Yes, Siri, Google that," and then straight away you look at your screen and you'll say, "See search results for the word that. Let's look up that now. Let's do a Google for that, for no good reason." that search, because if you can't search for these words, whenever we feel the need, these words in which we put so much trust and confidence, we use them in almost every sentence throughout our day, we should be able to look them up, and there straight away, the first result here has nothing to do with the word that. I did a search for that, and I came up with, although now this isn't Babylon, this isn't Google rather, this is Babylon, something that some virus or something put in as my search engine. Fuck off out of that, Babylon. Hold on a minute. Google. Let's go to Google. Bollocks. Google.ie. Let's have a look at this now, and then we'll search for that on Google. There we go, that's better. The first entry for that is Wikipedia. Now, if some terrorist wanted to mess with us now, all they'd have to do was go in and edit this article, and straight away, all our basic words like that and the and those will lose all logical meaning, because someone messed with Wikipedia. That's a flaw. I'm going to report that. I'm going to get on to Microsoft, whoever's responsible, and say, that Wikipedia, that's a hole in the system. That's a security opening. Someone could come in there now and mess with let's see, from Wikipedia. For the Hindustani musical model system, see that, brackets music. The function word that is used in the English language. English language, there's a link to that. Let's look that. English language. This article is about the language. For other uses, see English brackets disambiguation. Let's have a look at that now. English disambiguation. English may refer to something of, from, or related to England, especially the English language, the English people, places, English Indiana, English coast, Antarctica, other English surname, people with the family name English, English programming language, English film, an upcoming film. Let's have a look at that. English, brackets Malayalam, is an upcoming Malayalam drama film written by Ajalayan Venugopal, directed by Shaimas Prasad, starring Jasurya, Remya Nambisan, Niven Paul. This doesn't sound like English to me at all. Would you go way out of that? The internet is a pile of crap, as far as I'm concerned. You might as well be all putting up comics with cats talking crap to each other. Speaking of which, if you go to intoyourhead.com and click on comics in the menu, you'll find brand new episodes of Matchstick Cats. Absolutely fucking fantastic. The latest one contains extreme violence and references to Pope Benedict. See intoyourhead.com. Hello. How to spell elocution. ELOCUTION. How to pronounce the spelling of elocution. ELOCUTION, which is exactly the same, which just goes to show that speech and writing are both pointless. You don't need both. One or the other will do, or combine the two, I suppose. Speak out loud, writing out loud, dictation, speech to dictate, dictate to speech. You can talk into a frigging computer now, like I'm doing now, except the words will come up on the screen. You'll say, hello, please type the word elocution, and straight away the screen will say, hello, please type the word elocution. So being an obliging and obedient horde in a dictatorship, he'll straight away type in the word elocution as you were commanded, and the computer will get confused then, because it'll hear the sound of the keys and it'll think, I don't recognise that word. This sounds like clicking of a keys. So the computer will say, I don't understand. And you say, I was just typing. That was just the sound of me typing. I wasn't dictating there. And straight away up on the screen will come, I was just typing, or whatever I just said. And you'll get stuck in a vicious circle. It'll be like the egg and the tortoise, not the egg and the tortoise, the egg and the which came came first, the chicken and the egg? It was perfectly simple. The egg came first. It was laid by a creature that was one tiny evolutionary genetic step away from becoming a chicken. It's perfectly simple. It's not complicated. It's not rocket science. It's genetic biology, which now, no offense to genetic biologists, I'm sure you work just as hard as rocket scientists in fact, now that I think about it, all rocket scientists do is put a bomb under a vehicle. They're basically rocket scientists are car bombers. They get a vehicle and they put some dynamite under it. Enough dynamite to make it go straight up into space until it gets into orbit. That's all. Rocket scientists are car bombers. That's what they are. That'd be a lesson to us all when we're deciding what to do after school. And they say, "Oh, you're very intelligent. Have you thought of becoming a rocket scientist?" They'd be very careful then, because that could be someone from Al Qaeda trying to coax you and groom you into becoming a frigging terrorist. Anyway,
if you would like to comment on any of the issues raised in today's programme, email us at studio@intoyourhead.com. Remember, we value the opinions of you, the humble and ignorant listener.
Sit, Annie, sit. Good cat.
Intoyourhead.com.